Hello, options traders. Steve Gans here, and I know I've been a little absent here for a couple of weeks. Mom passed away about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, so I've been kind of out, and prior to that, she was requiring 24/7 care. So lots of things happening in the past couple of months here. That actually leads to a little bit of a trading lesson here. And this trading lesson is where I'm currently at on this AVGO position. So as many of you may recall, I've done other videos on this where I showed that I was long AVGO calls. These are leaps. I bought them way out in advance, almost 2 years in advance. AVGO, of course, took off massively. And let's just take a look here at a chart of AVGO. So we can see that a chart of AVGO, I mean, I bought these things all the way back when AVGO was trading at around 45 back in well, even way down lower than this. And again, AVGO has really rocketed up over the past year and a half. And what I did was I started to hedge those trades. So what I did is my hedges, and you'll see this in my prior videos here, let me get this sized to where it will show, is back in this general area here, I added a hedge. AVGO had started into a downtrend. So when it rallied up to this particular point, I sold 40 call spreads for $3.45 each. Then as AVGO, it rallied back, which that position wasn't doing great at one point. Then it sold off again, and I ended up closing that hedge down here, basically picking up about $13,000 in profit. So that trade is represented here. So if I only had AVGO long calls, I would have been up 126. By selling that call spread, that first call spread, and closing that out at about $13,000 in profit, that trade, had I not sold a new call spread on it, that trade would be up about $138,000. But you'll notice that I came back in when AVGO rallied up here to a resistance point a couple of weeks ago. And again, I considered this to be a likely point of resistance. And I did go ahead and sell a second call spread on this trade with the anticipation that we were probably going to sell back down maybe into this lower range somewhere. And we were still in what I felt was kind of a downtrend, making lower highs. However, this is where life comes in. Things started happening with Mom, required lots of attention, lack of focus here on the trading side of the equation. AVGO broke out, pulled back right to where I was expecting it to fail last time and sell off, and then started to rally from here. So I should have possibly considered taking those shorts off the table here, but maybe not so much here, even if I let that rally, because this was very early in the trade, so it wouldn't have had a huge negative impact. Maybe let that rally up to here, then when it pulled back to here and held here, when it held here and started to move higher, that certainly would have been a big indication that, time to pull the plug on those call spreads. But wasn't paying attention to this at all at that given time. So where did that put me? Well, where that put me is I come back here, and this is the trade I currently have on, which is my long call spreads, or excuse me, my long calls, and my short call spreads, these 40 short call spreads that are now, kind of taking it in the shorts, if you will. And we can see here where I'm at on this trade. I'm likely to have very fast theta decay now because this whole thing expires here in the next few days. So as theta decays, I'm going to be down here at 115 in P&L as opposed to my current 122. Now, the question becomes, is there likely to be a little more of a pullback? I think it's unrealistic right now to get a pullback here into the 175 or, even, down here into the 170 range. I think that's very unlikely this week, given how strong this is looking, but we are getting a little bit of a pullback today. So I'm doing this video today letting you know that I'm going to try to be watching this over the next few days. If we pull back a little bit further down here to maybe this 177, 175 range, I will come in, and if we get down into here, I will come in and close these call spreads. It will be at a bit of a loss, and then I will consider opening a new call spread further out, essentially just rolling this call spread out in time and likely up as well. Coming back to our chart at this stage, if I were to roll this out in time and up, I would likely look at the 190 to maybe 200 range for selling my call spread. With a little caveat that now I will have an alert set. I will be able to pay attention to it. I'm not distracted with other life issues. And if it were to break into that 190 range, I would pull the plug rather quickly on it. If it did not, and it did in fact decay below 190, that would be a good thing again for this trade. So right now, I don't know the exact outcome of what I'm going to do with this, but I will be updating it. But in the meantime, I just wanted to walk through this trade so that people kind of understand where it is at this stage. The fact that this last time that I put on this spread, again, if I come back and look at the different variations, had I only kept my long calls, never sold a call spread against it, I'd be at 126. Since I did sell the first call spread successfully, closed it out for a very nice profit, I actually boosted my return on that. And then here I sit right now where I missed a trade or missed closing this when I should have, just because life got in the way. And now I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. So this is part of trading, and I think it is a valuable lesson to help people understand what can sometimes happen. And again, I'm all about sharing the good, sharing the bad. I found that when I was learning trading many, many years ago, I always had people that would share all their glorious, results. And it's not so easy to learn from the glorious results. Many times it's better to learn from the, oopsies that happen in trading. And so when I started focusing more on my own losses when they happened and understanding them, and when I can find another trader that would be willing to share their losses, and there's not many out there, I learned a lot from those as well. So I want to be one of those people that kind of shares the transparency, if you will, and might help newer traders understand what are some of the gotchas that might be out there. So I hope you guys get something from this. Please like, subscribe, give me any thoughts. If there's anything you'd like to see me do in the future, give me a comment below. Let me know that as well. Take care, everyone.